Welcome to Mic'd Up English, where stories come alive and your English grows naturally. Hi, I'm Alex.
Today we're diving into something absolutely wonderful, simple, and just flat out comforting. Crafting the perfect homemade cinnamon milk tea. Whether you're craving a steaming hot mug on a chilly evening to wind down, or maybe a refreshing iced version on a warm afternoon, we're going to guide you through every single step. We'll look at the exact process, the crucial timings, and some literally game-changing variations you can create from this one simple recipe. Okay, let's dive into this.
You know, the source material sums it up perfectly right here. A cozy, homemade cinnamon milk tea recipe with creamy texture and warm cinnamon flavor. That really says it all, doesn't it? We aren't just talking about a basic rushed cup of hot water and a tea bag. We're talking about creating a full-on sensory experience right in your own kitchen. It's about nailing that rich, creamy mouthfeel perfectly balanced with that unmistakable aromatic warmth that only cinnamon can provide. It's the kind of drink that just makes you want to curl up, relax, and completely savor the moment.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, the cozy cinnamon experience. Then, gathering your ingredients. After that, brewing hot cinnamon tea, followed by the iced tea variation. And finally, customizing your perfect cup.
All right, section 1, the cozy cinnamon experience. The whole goal of this explainer is to show you exactly how easy it is to bring that luxurious, cafe-quality vibe directly into your home. Seriously, no expensive equipment or complicated syrups are needed here to get that amazing, creamy texture and flavor.
Moving on to section 2, gathering your ingredients. Because, as we all know, any great recipe starts with the right foundation, right? Let's look at exactly what you need before you even think about turning on that stove.
It's actually fascinating how accessible these core ingredients are. You probably already have the whole shebang sitting in your pantry right now. To build the base, you're going to need exactly 1 cup of water and 1 cup of milk. That 1-to-1 ratio, that is your golden ticket to the perfect creamy texture. For the tea itself, grab 1 or 2 black tea bags, or if you're going the traditional route, 2 teaspoons of loose black tea works great. Then comes the star of the show, 1 small cinnamon stick. Now, if you don't have whole sticks, no worries at all. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder is a perfect substitute. And lastly, just 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar or honey to bring out that natural sweetness. But hey, you absolutely do not have to stop at just the basics. By tossing in some optional ingredients like a splash of vanilla, rich condensed milk, or some ice, you can really see how flexible this recipe is. Keeping just a few of these extras on standby can completely transform your drink from a standard tea into a decadent, next-level treat.
Okay, section 3, brewing hot cinnamon tea. This is where the magic happens. We're getting into the actual preparation now, focusing first on the classic, comforting hot brew. Here's the high-level overview. Step 1, boil the cinnamon. Step 2, add tea. Step 3, add milk. Step 4, sweeten. And step 5, serve. It is literally that straightforward. But the real secret to this recipe? It's all in the execution. Specifically, the timing required to get that perfect flavor extraction. Let's break that down. The 3 to 5 minute window is absolutely crucial here. For step 1, add your cup of water and your cinnamon to a pot, and just let it simmer for 3 to 5 minutes. So, why is this specific chunk of time such a big deal? Well, cinnamon is a really robust spice. Giving it this dedicated time to boil in the water all by itself makes sure you extract maximum warmth and that deep aromatic flavor before anything else gets added to complicate the pot. It's like building the ultimate flavor foundation.
Then we hit step 2, and you'll notice our magic number changes dramatically to just 1 to 2. Once your cinnamon water is beautifully fragrant from that first simmer, you drop in your black tea, bags or loose leaf, either way. But listen up, you only want to boil the tea for 1 to 2 minutes. This is a super targeted window. If you leave black tea boiling for too long, it turns overly bitter, which will completely overpower those cozy cinnamon notes we just worked so hard to extract.
For step 3, you pour in your cup of milk. Now, the absolute crucial point here is that you must heat it gently without overboiling. This is where a little patience pays off big time. If you crank up the heat and let that milk rapidly boil, you risk completely ruining that beautifully smooth, creamy texture we promised earlier. Just use a gentle, slow heat to bring both the milk and the cinnamon tea up to a cozy serving temperature together.
To wrap up our hot brew, we jump to steps 4 and 5. First, sweeten to taste. Add your sugar, your honey, or even that condensed milk we talked about, and give it a really good stir so everything dissolves nicely into the warm liquid. Then, step 5, serve it up. Quick note, if you used loose leaf tea or a whole cinnamon stick, you'll definitely want to strain the liquid as you pour it into your mug. And for that final Instagram-worthy presentation, hit it with a little extra sprinkle of cinnamon right on top.
Section 4. The iced tea variation. I know a lot of us out there prefer our cafe drinks cold and invigorating, no matter what the season is. So, let's pivot to a super refreshing alternative that uses this exact same flavor profile. When you look at the standard hot brew versus the iced brew, there is one fundamental rule you have to follow. The iced version requires you to make the tea slightly stronger. And honestly, this makes perfect sense when you think about it. When you pour hot liquid over ice, that ice is obviously going to melt. If you start with a standard strength tea, it's just going to get watered down instantly and lose that robust cinnamon punch. A slightly stronger initial brew perfectly accounts for the melting ice, guaranteeing your final drink stays bold and packed with flavor. So let's detail the assembly steps for this iced variation. Step 1, like we just established, brew the tea slightly stronger. Step 2 is a real game changer for temperature control. Let it cool completely. Step 3, once it's chilled, pour that concentrated tea over a glass filled to the brim with ice. And step 4, add your cold milk. Oh, and here's a totally delicious option from the recipe. Try using condensed milk instead of regular milk if you're craving a rich, sweet, seriously decadent ice drink.
Finally, Section 5, customizing your perfect cup. Because making it your own is the best part of learning any new recipe, right? Let's take the foundational steps we just mastered and explore how to totally personalize this drink.
It's actually amazing how easily you can pair a few simple ingredients with massive flavor payoffs. For instance, toss in a pinch of nutmeg and you get this extra layer of warm spice that plays incredibly well with the cinnamon. Swap out your regular white sugar for brown sugar and boom, you instantly introduce a deep caramel-like vibe. Adding vanilla gives the whole thing a much softer, smoother taste. Or if you want a fun textural twist, dropping in some boba pearls literally turns your homemade drink into a legitimate bubble tea experience.
So, I want to leave you with this. How are you going to customize your very first cup of homemade cinnamon milk tea? Are you going to stick to the cozy, classic hot brew with a little honey? Or maybe you're feeling inspired to try that refreshing iced version loaded with brown sugar and boba pearls. The real beauty here is that you now have the exact know-how to confidently experiment in your own kitchen. I really hope this explainer has you heading straight to the stove right now. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today and have a blast discovering your perfect cup.